In this podcast episode, actor Russell Crowe shares his experiences of meeting fellow celebrities, his journey into acting, and the challenges of the film industry. He reflects on personal anecdotes from his roles, the importance of family and parenting, and his thoughts on political discourse and social media. Additionally, Crowe discusses his commitment to health and fitness, his experiences with smoking, and his engagement in regenerative farming practices, all while contemplating personal growth and the future of America. During the podcast, Russell Crowe shares his experiences of meeting various celebrities. He recalls a memorable encounter with Daniel Day-Lewis in a Motel 8 in Canoga, New York. A fan approached them and asked to take a photograph, which later arrived at Crowe's home in Australia. He describes Day-Lewis as a legend, noting his ability to disappear for years and then return with powerful performances. Crowe expresses his admiration for eccentric individuals, stating that true eccentrics are fascinating and that he feels a sense of wonder when meeting people he has admired. He also mentions meeting Dennis Quaid, reflecting on the strangeness of encountering someone he has seen in many films. Crowe admits that if he were to explain his life experiences to his 10-year-old self, it would be unimaginable. He emphasizes the importance of not leading a boring life and recounts his early jobs, including working for an insurance company and as a nightclub DJ, where he struggled with stage fright. Crowe discusses his journey into acting, revealing that he initially did not pursue it seriously until he was about 12 years old. He recalls doing an acting job at 6 and another at 8, but then he lost interest until a school tour of a TV studio reignited his passion. He describes how he was encouraged by a fellow actor to audition for a role, which led to his return to acting. Reflecting on his career, Crowe mentions the challenges of working on film sets, including the physical demands and the need for clarity of purpose. He expresses his love for acting, stating that he enjoys stepping into the shoes of different characters and experiencing their lives. He shares that he chooses roles that resonate with him personally, often opting for scripts that evoke a strong emotional response. A significant anecdote involves Crowe's experience while filming Noah. He describes the harsh conditions of the shoot, including living on refried beans and rice for a week in Guatemala. He recounts a particularly intense scene involving a tarantula where he learns that the spider's hairs can penetrate human skin, leading to a rash. He humorously reflects on the absurdity of the situation, noting that he is likely the only Academy Award-winning actor to have been bitten by a tarantula. He also shares a story about his time on the set of Cinderella Man, where he trained with Angelo Dundee. Crowe describes Dundee's positive outlook on life and how he influenced his approach to performance. He recalls the physical training involved in preparing for the role, including boxing sessions and the importance of maintaining a fit physique. Crowe discusses the impact of his family on his life, particularly his parents. He shares a touching moment when he invited his mother to join him on a trip to Rome after his father's passing. They experienced the beauty of the Vatican together, and Crowe describes how his mother felt a connection to his father during their visit. He reflects on the privilege of spending time with his family and the joy of witnessing his children's growth and achievements. He also shares insights into his relationships with his children. He expresses pride in his eldest son, who is pursuing a degree in Latin and Ancient Greek. Crowe appreciates the intellectual curiosity of his children and the conversations they share. He reflects on the joy of spending time with them and the lessons learned through their interactions. Crowe's perspective on parenting evolves as he navigates the complexities of raising children in a changing world. He acknowledges the challenges they face and the importance of guiding them through their experiences. Boxing is a recurring theme in Crowe's discussions about his film roles. He shares anecdotes about training with Angelo Dundee for Cinderella Man, where he learns the intricacies of boxing. Crowe describes the physicality of boxing scenes and the camaraderie that develops among the cast and crew during training. He recalls moments of real sparring in the ring, emphasizing the authenticity of the experience. Crowe's admiration for boxers like Costa Tzu and Oscar de la Hoya highlights his appreciation for the sport. He discusses the mental and physical challenges that boxers face, particularly the toll it takes on their bodies. The conversation touches on the evolution of boxing and the impact of modern training methods on athletes. Crowe discusses the current political climate, noting that many people around the world, including Australia, New Zealand, and the United States, express anger based on misinformation. He observes that the media's need for new stories often leads to sensationalism, which can distort public perception. He emphasizes that the consequences of this media landscape result in a situation where individuals struggle to find heroes in politics. He reflects on how the aggressive media environment affects people's understanding of political figures and issues. The conversation shifts to the role of social media in shaping public discourse. Crowe mentions that he initially finds social media to be a powerful tool for connecting with people and sharing information. However, he notes that the experience has changed over time, with negativity becoming more prevalent. He acknowledges that while social media can facilitate communication, it also allows for the spread of misinformation and can create a toxic environment. Crowe highlights the significance of free speech in a democratic society. He expresses concern about politicians suing individuals for negative comments made on social media, suggesting that such actions stifle free expression. He believes that public figures should be prepared for criticism and that the ability to voice opinions is essential for a healthy political discourse. The discussion touches on the idea that the fear of legal repercussions can deter people from speaking out, ultimately undermining the principles of free speech. A conversation about the political landscape in Australia reveals a rise in independent candidates. Crowe notes that this trend is occurring at both the federal and state levels, as well as in local government. He observes that independent candidates are beginning to challenge the traditional two-party system, which may lead to a more diverse political discourse. The presence of independents in Parliament forces the major parties to reconsider their positions and policies, creating a more dynamic political environment. Crowe reflects on the challenges faced by individuals seeking to enter politics, particularly in a system dominated by established parties. He suggests that the current political climate may discourage potential candidates from stepping forward, as the media often focuses on sensational stories rather than substantive issues. The discussion emphasizes the need for a political landscape that allows for a variety of voices and perspectives, particularly those of independent candidates who may offer alternative solutions to pressing societal problems. Crowe discusses his long history with smoking, acknowledging that he has been a smoker since he was a kid. He recognizes the negative effects of smoking, stating that it has impacted his health as he ages. He mentions that he is aware of the consequences of smoking and the potency of nicotine as a drug. He reflects on the challenges of quitting, noting that his brain does not function the same way when he tries to give it up. The addiction affects his decision-making abilities, and he finds it difficult to manage his life without the substance. He shares a humorous anecdote about his experiences while filming, where he would sneak cigarettes in the ring, demonstrating the extent of his habit. Having owned land in Australia since 1996, Crowe engages in regenerative farming practices. He discusses the importance of caring for the cattle he raises, emphasizing that he does not want to be responsible for the well-being of thousands of animals if he cannot ensure they are treated well. He explains that he has developed a system where cattle can graze freely, which contributes to their health and the quality of the meat. Crowe expresses concern about the current state of America, noting the polarization in politics and the challenges of finding quality leaders. He reflects on the impact of misinformation and the way it shapes public opinion. The conversation touches on the difficulties of navigating political discourse, with Crowe highlighting the need for a more nuanced understanding of issues.